Welcome back. The Leader of the Opposition will have to bring a motion to Parliament if he wants to complain about government ministers not answering questions. The Speaker of Parliament has ruled, following a request by Daniel Feetham, that there's no provision in parliamentary rules to deal with complaints of a minister misleading Parliament. Daniel Feetham had asked Adolfo Canepa last July for a ruling after he accused the Chief Minister of misleading Parliament in questions on the Sunborn Hotel.
Purely procedurally, if a government minister is accused of misleading the House, then A. Either the opposition could approach the matter politically with motions of censure, confidence, etc., or B. If they felt that a particular member, in this case a minister, had misled the House, then another member could make a complaint in the normal way for the matter to be treated as a matter of privilege and referred to the Committee of Privileges. End of quote. Since we do not have a Committee of Privileges in our Parliament to whom the matter can be referred, only A above would seem to be relevant.
Meanwhile, the Leader of the Opposition says he will make submissions to this effect via the Select Committee on Parliamentary Reform.
Well, we accept the ruling, as we must. It's a ruling that the Speaker has come up with in good faith, and it's his ruling and the opposition accepts it. However, I think that it's a sad day for democracy that we have a position where a government minister can lie with impunity in Parliament, and all that an opposition can do is to bring a motion of censure which will always be defeated by an inherent government majority, because in our Parliament we don't have any backbenchers. So a government will always be judge in its own cause in relation to any motion of censure that the opposition may bring. So, the position is that the Speaker can, for example, take the opposition to task, can chastise the opposition for asking too many supplementary questions, but if you had a government minister, for example, who was lying with impunity, and everybody in the House knows that that government minister is lying with impunity, there is absolutely nothing that the Speaker can do in relation to that government minister. I think that's a sad position for our democracy, and we're certainly going to be bringing it up in the context of the Select Committee on Parliamentary Reform.
The government has also responded to the Speaker's ruling. In a statement, Number 6 argues that Mr Picardo has never misled Parliament, and Mr Feetham knows this. The Chief Minister says if the Leader of the Opposition wants to continue to make allegations about his probity in respect of answers in the House, he should simply put up by submitting the relevant notice or shut up. In other news, High Court Judge Sir Geoffrey Grigson has refused an application from Benjamin Marache's lawyer, Dorian Lovell-Pank QC, that he should recuse himself. Sir Geoffrey was brought in from the UK especially to hear this case and will continue to do so himself, having discharged the jury late last month.
Benjamin Marache's lawyer, Dorian Lovell-Pank QC, has made a submission to the judge to recuse himself from the case. References to this submission were made by Sir Geoffrey himself at the start of proceedings in the morning. He pointed out that, contrary to press reports, he hadn't said he would be delivering a verdict on this submission in the same day. It's understood that Sir Geoffrey is considering this application privately before commenting on it in court. In court trials generally, a judge is charged with a duty of impartiality in administering justice, and requests for a judge to remove himself from a particular proceeding are normally based on an alleged conflict of interest. In the Marache trial, Mr Lovell-Pank has made his submission directly to the judge in writing, and the defence counsel's reasons have not been made known in open court. Meanwhile, Sir Geoffrey Grigson continues to hear live evidence in the Supreme Court. Evidence today has centred on the manner in which documents were destroyed by liquidators following the collapse of the law firm Marache & Co. Defence lawyer John Cooper QC asked liquidator Adrian Hyde whether he'd kept a schedule of the documents destroyed. He said he hadn't, but pointed out the liquidators are subject to strict regulation which would dictate what types of documents should be kept and which ones could be destroyed. This choice Mr Cooper submitted was an important one. Benjamin, Solomon and Isaac Marache, together with Leanne Turnbull, have pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of conspiracy to defraud.
An inquiry into the death of a 63-year-old woman has recorded a verdict of accidental death. The incident dates back to December 2011, when a UK national, Christina Boyles, was found dead in an interior small patio in Turnbull's Lane. Ms Boyles had lived in the building and had been in Gibraltar for 16 years. The Royal Gibraltar Police was alerted to the scene after a family member found the body. A coroner's investigation took place, a UK pathologist conducted a mortem, and witnesses were questioned. It is believed Ms Boyles fell out of an open window, and Coroner Charles Beather returned a verdict of accidental death. And police have confirmed an investigation into the death of a 60-year-old man found hanged at a flat in Waterport Terraces on Tuesday morning. The RGP has not confirmed the identity, but GBC understands it to be Joseph Beather, a former handyman at the youth service. No foul play is suspected, but a coroner's inquiry has begun. The public gallery at the Magistrates' Court was packed to capacity on Thursday for the first court appearance by the Voice of Gibraltar's group's Julio Pons. Mr Pons is charged with one count of criminal damage for allegedly cutting the rope holding up the EU flag at the Gibraltar frontier. The case has been adjourned till the 13th of next month and has been bailed out in the sum of £500. Following Gibraltar's memorable debut as a full UEFA member in Tuesday's 0-0 draw with Slovakia, the manager is already setting his sights on Euro 2016. Alan Buller praised his men for their performance against a nation 27 places above them in the UEFA rankings, and is hoping the result will serve as a springboard for even greater things.
There was no triumphalism at the post-match press conference from the manager or team captain Roy Cipollina. Humility and level-headedness were the order of the day, but also a fierce pride in a job well done. Not many would have given Gibraltar much of a chance of getting any sort of result against a team that beat Italy 3-2 at the last World Cup and qualified for the knockout stages at the expense of the 4 times winners. But an extraordinary and fearless rearguard action saw the men in red frustrate their Central European opponents at every turn, and helped ensure that Gibraltar's first official international resulted in a creditable clean sheet. For many, the hero was goalie Jordan Perez.
I'll have to see the videos because it always happens. When I'm in a game, I just concentrate on what's going on. I even forget, just after I make a save, I forget how I've made it, to be quite honest. But I think that first save gave me the confidence to carry on the game, do the job which I did.
The local lads were bolstered by 3 professional players from the UK, including one-time Manchester United and Stoke defender Danny Higginbottom. Their inclusion in the squad caused some controversy, but neither the manager nor the captain had any doubts it was the right decision.
2 or 3 players have come in, they've given us experience on the field, but we're not going to forget the rest of the players that have played beside them, and they've done brilliant job. Is not the word for it. You know, there's just no word for what these lads have done.
They brought in a lot of professionalism, which has definitely helped us out today anyway. I mean, like I was saying before, our tactics were spot on today. Defensively, we were solid. The team worked hard as individuals and as a team. What I found today was that we didn't do any stupid running, which we've done before when we've played at amateur tournaments, for example. And I think that Danny has brought that in, and so Scott. The fact where they were talking the whole game, they kept us on the ball all the time, we never switched off, and the results proven.
This just gives everyone a buzz now, and it gives everybody else around Gibraltar that drive to get into the squad and be part of it next time, because what we've experienced today and then after the match, seeing how much it meant to everybody was fantastic. It was like a cup win.
Alan Buller praised his players for sticking to the game plan and giving more than 100%. He deftly sidestepped political questions, saying they were only interested in playing football, and summed up his role like this.
I've got to protect 2 things. One is the badge of the Gibraltar Football Association, and secondly is the flag of my nation.
He paid tribute to his technical team and to his Faro hosts, saying he couldn't be happier to call Portugal home for the next 2 years. He called on club managers to work on players' fitness, and he dismissed the notion that Gibraltar would necessarily be also-rans in campaigns to qualify for major tournaments.
I don't agree with people accepting that the so-called minnows, that we are the small nations, that it's all right for us to lose. Because when we go into a competition, we go to, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and obviously as we're going into the Euro 2016, the light at the end of the tunnel is France. and me as manager, I've always said it, that is my target. We will try our best to get there. There's no point in just going in and just playing for the sake of playing. So that will keep me going, that will keep me motivated, my targets, and that feeds already into my players. And I think today the vision that I've had with going on for nearly 4 years with the national team, they've given me everything, and they also share the vision because it's been shown out there. Whether we reach France or not, who knows? But we will give it our best shot.
Gibraltar's next challengers will be the Faroe Islands and Estonia in March next year.
For the rest of this week's news, you can also head over to our website, gbc.gi/news. Tune in to Radio Gibraltar and GBC Television throughout the week for the very latest local news. And you can also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Good night.